Now, time-honored direct marketing priority principle is the next thing I want to talk about. And this is something, if you're not familiar with the old direct mail, MAIL years, that goes back hundreds of years, in some cases thousands of years. You know, the first magazine ad was by Benjamin Franklin in the 1700s, but man, direct mail goes back to the Roman days, most likely, maybe even Babylon. But the time-honored, meaning it's been honored over time, direct marketing priority principle. Priority principle is know the difference between what's urgent and important and do what's important first. Okay, there are three things to consider in direct marketing where you're getting a direct response. The first priority is the list. Nothing is more important than the list. That's the who, and that's why we're talking about avatar. The second thing is the offer. In other words, that is what you are giving to them, the bonuses, the guarantee, the products involved, right? That's the offer. That's second. And third is copy. And copy could be video, audio, written. That's how you're communicating with them through different media sources. But look what comes first. Everyone agrees, whom I know, the list is number one. If you're selling meat to vegetarians, that won't work. If you try to raise money for the Republican Party and you're sending them to Democrats, that won't work. At least it won't work to get money. You'll get hate mail most likely. All right. So the key point is always start with your list research. And the key is not search. It's research. All great writing is rewriting. That's what Ernest Hemingway did. I think he wrote The Old Man and the Sea 23 times. Okay, not everyone is a Mozart where you write once and that's it. Most people are like Beethoven, who wrote, crossed out stuff, and then finally had a great symphony. So I want you to research. And if you steal from one source, that's called plagiarism. If you borrow from many sources, that's called research, which is what I've done. And you can borrow from me. There are many sources here that you're seeing, and I'm acknowledging them one by one. Here's the final question. What's your next step? What's next to discover to create your avatar? You're looking at a blank page. How do I do it? All right. Here's one next step. You can go back and watch this video training. It's a masterclass. I hope you agree. I hope you agree it's content rich. If you don't, why are you here? Why you keep watching, right? Number two, if you don't want to keep going back and do it on your own, because it's hard to do it on your own, it's possible, but it's a little harder, then I'm going to give you an opportunity right now. I'm going to make a pitch. Are you ready? This is called a way to make change under my supervision. Is the next step with me is to submit a private mentoring application. Okay. Now, 80% of the people who submit this don't come in. Why? Because they're not the ideal avatar for me. So the first step is for me not to pre-qualify you one-to-one. The first step is for you to pre-qualify yourself by honestly answering questions that are on that application. Okay. Now, if you submit it, and if those answers come up who are ideal for me, I'll say, let's meet privately, one-to-one. If they don't come out, that would be an ideal fit. And don't try to guess what's ideal for me or not. And please don't stretch the truth. Tell the truth. Nothing is as persuasive as the truth. Then I will meet with you. Now, if I don't meet with you, then I can give you some other options in the form of a how-to course or some other free materials that you can get if you don't want to pay. And that's against your morals, or maybe it's just not in your budget. But I'm sure everyone has a budget of $500 or less. Well, whatever your choice is, if you're going to work privately, it's more expensive. If you work publicly with other people, it's less expensive. And if you work on your own, do it yourself, that's the least expensive. But for the application, honestly answer the questions at marketingonline.com/intake.